The African Union Transitional Justice Policy is more than words on paper. It is a roadmap designed for Africa by Africans to deal with past human rights violations, prevent impunity, and support peace, justice, and socio-economic transformation. Across the continent, several countries have fought against colonialism and apartheid, challenged military authoritarian regimes, and struggled to establish democratic and participatory governance, uphold human rights, and implement constitutionalism and the rule of law. Now, let's revisit the history of some African nations. In South Africa, the fight against apartheid, led by voices such as Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Steve Biko, and Thabo Mbeki, among others, lasted almost 5 decades before the country gained democracy in 1994. Kenya's murmur uprising against British colonial rule paved the way for independence in 1963. Algeria, too, fought a bloody war before finally shaking off French colonial rule. In Rwanda, the 1994 genocide left thousands of people dead in 100 days, but the country has since rebuilt itself into one of Africa's strongest examples of post-conflict recovery. Ethiopia's Alembeka prison, once a symbol of brutality during the massacres of 1937 and 1974, has been transformed from a place of pain into a site of remembrance. The Red Terror of 1977 to 1978, marked by mass killings and disappearances, yet Ethiopia has slowly worked to honor victims and confront its history. That's not all. Egypt's 2011 revolution ended decades of authoritarian rule. Ghana, once under military control, is now one of Africa's strongest democracies. And in Nigeria, the Civil War of 1967 to 1970, repeated military coups, and the Boko Haram insurgency have tested its democracy. But each challenge has pushed the nation to seek new ways of strengthening peace and governance. For all the victims of human rights abuses in Africa, including those of the slave trade and colonialism, and particularly the genocide in Rwanda in 1994, the Alembeka prison massacres from 1937 and 1974, the Red Terror 1977 to 1978 in Ethiopia, and apartheid in South Africa. These stories reveal a pattern. Africa's journey to peace, justice, and democracy has been long, and it is still ongoing. That is why the African Union developed and adopted the Transitional Justice Policy in February of 2019. The African Union Transitional Justice Policy is a toolkit that helps African countries design their own context-specific strategies to heal from conflict, address human rights abuses, and strengthen democracy and development. It draws on Africa's shared values, traditional justice systems, and lived experiences. This policy also strengthens governance and development in line with African Union Agenda 2063, which lays out the Africa we want. Now, why does this policy matter? Because it helps countries avoid falling back into circles of violence. It rebuilds trust between citizens and the state, and it lays a foundation for lasting peace. And what does it mean for AU member states? Adopting the African Union Transitional Justice Policy means committing to justice that is not just about repairing the past, but also about building a better future. It means protecting victims' rights, addressing historic wrongs, and ensuring peace processes are inclusive. The goal is simple: to give African countries the tools to take charge of their own healing and to transform moments of crisis into opportunities for lasting peace and development. In the next episode, we will explore the concept of justice. Join us.